Hi and welcome to Inside Line. This week we look at the latest from Holden and the updated Subaru WRX. First though is a genuine rival to the iconic Mini, and it's from a French car maker. Now Jez, is this for real?
Well, it is. Last year we had Italy taking on the Mini with the Alfa Romeo Mito, and now we have the Citroen DS3, which is the car maker's take on the premium small car, priced from $32,990.
And it's a pretty good looking thing, which I guess is half the battle with these cars.
Absolutely, it's very much about style in this segment, and the car's got this distinctive sort of what they call the shark fin door pillar. It definitely gives it a bit of a different feel, particularly to the C3 on which it's based.
One of the tricks with this though is brand, and I guess how long that brand stood for, and the Mini just has all that in spades. This thing's coming from scratch. Can it win from that point of view? Absolutely.
The Mini is obviously playing on 50 years plus of heritage. The DS3 is just sort of coming out of the blue. But Citroen they are playing the anti-retro card and saying forget about the Mini. That's yesterday. This is the new thing, and it is all about sort of automotive fashion, really.
Yeah. Well, you've driven it. Is it any good?
It actually is. I'd say it's one of the surprises of the year. It not only rides well, which is something we haven't seen from Peugeots and Citroens this year, and of course they're sister companies, and it's actually good fun to drive. I think it can give a Mini a run for its money.
So will they sell as many as the Mini?
No, even they're admitting they're going to struggle to match the Mini, which does about 2,000 a year, I think, in Australia. They're hoping to sell just under sort of 500. Citroen, they admit it's a bit of an awareness issue for them in Australia, but they're hoping the DS range, the DS3 is the first of those, can improve that.
I guess they could be helped out a bit there by the younger buyers. Now it's fashion, but fashion of the V8 kind. This week, muscle car maker HSV released its updated Grange, which came with a bit more power and the usual styling tweaks, but it was the technology that was the really interesting bit, because it brought a V8 supercar-like data logging system to the inside of the car. Now we've seen something similar in Nissan's potent GTR, but this is the sort of thing, Jez, that we haven't quite seen in a locally made car yet.
That's right. I mean, it's interesting. I think it's definitely a showpiece to show your friends. You can have there's G-forces, there's acceleration and braking, and you could even it will even show you whether you're oversteering or understeering. But to be honest, I'd rather be seeing what's going on the road ahead.
Well, that's one of the big tricks, isn't it? You're looking at all this information being flashed up on the screen. Is it a distraction? Now HSV says no. They say that they're putting the warning signs up, and provided people are sensible, I guess, then hopefully it's not an issue. But you've got to imagine that there'll be someone who sticks to that screen rather than looks out the window.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be heading for trouble if they are. But look, it's interesting technology, and it's definitely it gives HSV owners something to sort of brag about. But I think more the lap timing system is probably going to be more beneficial. There's something you can have a go around a track, and then you can check it.
They've actually got the data from a whole bunch of tracks in there, and then you can download that data to your laptop and I guess look over it and see how you went. But again, I can see the appeal in a race car, and it's got some novelty factor, no doubt. But whether it will actually be a sales pitch, a point of difference from a sales perspective, we'll wait to see.
Yeah, and it's whether, obviously Ford Performance Vehicles has now got the bragging rights with the Powerwall. They've got a 335 kilowatt supercharged V8, and HSV isn't changing the power to its V8. So is that going to be more important for those kind of buyers? That's something we'll have to wait and see.
It comes down to overall acceleration, and with 325 kilowatts in some of the HSVs, there's not a whole lot in it. Now, still on the performance car theme, and this week, Subaru released the latest updates for its WRX Pocket Rocket. Now, Jez asked, after years of toning down the WRX, they're now giving it a bit more muscle and seemingly going back to what they had 5-6 years ago. Yeah,
that's right. It seems to be becoming an annual event for Subaru to change the WRX. This is the second change in 3 years. It came out, they're trying to appeal to sort of a broader audience, and now they're saying, we're going to go back to how the WRX originally was, which basically was sort of a boy racer car. So you've now got a wider body, which is based on the STI.
Yeah, I was never convinced the direction they took, because they were really trying to tackle that market that the Volkswagen Golf GTI does so well. But the WRX is not a GTI. It shouldn't try to be a GTI. We've seen that happen with so many other brands, trying to do something they're not particularly good at and ultimately not going too well. So I'll be interested to see how this new one goes. Well, that's it for Inside Line this week. We'll catch you next time, and in the meantime, keep up to date with all things motoring here at Drive.com.au.